Hello, I'm an ACE level art student and I will be showing you what I worked on in my Competent 1. Competent 1 is where you can choose your own title and I chose Precious.
So the first page was about mind map. It's all about what I had in mind to start my project on. And the first thought I had was fabric, as in folded way and wrinkled. And my mind map had what I was gonna use as in tools and watercolor, color pencil, and the view, as in if it's far away or close. And on my folded lines, I had the idea of hanging down or being wearing it as it is wrinkled up and folded. And this piece was made with wash. If you go more further, there are patterns and textiles, as if the picture of my outcome is gonna have a sheet or clothing, and how it's gonna be shaded or the shadows and lightnings that I would have to experience and figure out on. There are more as in colors, if I should use warm colors, neutral, cold, and single color, as in only shading with one color. And there are characters, as I would like to have a main character and side character as just two characters in my work. And my main character was my little sister, and the side character was the one holding her preciously, as if it's gonna be me or my mom. There's also a pose, as if my sister is going to be sleeping or being held, also by my mom or by me, and in the end she was actually being held in the outcome. And the second page was all about record, as I sketched all of them. At first I was researching on how I could put the patterns and textiles in, and I made my mom and sister wear a pattern clothing to see how it could match on, but I just roughly sketched them all. And I took the idea from this piled up sheets this woman is laying on, and I did different angle and poses of photos, and I did two of them to sketch. And there is my sister covered in sheet. It was all about what I could do and how I could do things, and I just did a bare non-patterned sheet for it. And there is me figuring out what I could do, and it was just me in different poses to figure out how it could work. And then there is my third page. It's all about record and explore. And the sketches were all the art style of Holly Warburton's, but I only used one shade of colored pencil on each of the sketches with different poses. And I used green, brown, pink, and purple. And here's where I got the idea to take my little sister while she was sleeping, and I used the technique of Holly Warburton's with color pencil. And in a precious moment, I thought it could be as a sleeping kid. And this is page 4, and it's all about explore and develop. And I used watercolors as to develop on it. And in the first one, I used watercolor and then tried to outline, and it was a total fail. But it was an experience and what not to do and what to do. And then on the patterns, I used watercolor as in bare to show the basics of the patterns it had. And then there is a drawing of me again, and I used it for the watercolor to see how I could do the patterns on. And then there is my sister covered in sheet again, and I worked with watercolor in this one. And I tried using a black watercolor to see how it could be vibrant and pop out, but it was a bit too different that I get to see and figure out. And this is the 5th sheet, which is all about developing, and I drew all the sheets in different folded ways, and I used watercolor to see how it could work out and how I could figure out and show the light and shadow in. And I tried it 4 different times and 2 each. And then there is my sister. I used watercolor and color pencil, both of the techniques I tried here, as to see how it could work out. And this is the 6th page. It's all about my final outcomes positioning, and this was the position that I chose. As in watercolor, the light and shadow, it worked out quite good. That's why I chose it. And these two are a reference to how my final outcome is going to be posed. And this one is in photo. And this drawing is the technique I used for my final outcome. And I drew it in a different picture right here, as the main character being colored in and me as the side character being blended in with the background. And I used it on the final outcome that I just showed. This is the half the size of my outcome, and I used tea stain for the uneven part in the actual background, and it was to have an adjustment to do my actual outcome.